Welcome to The Explainer. Today we're diving into a topic that's deeply personal and frankly incredibly urgent: the childbirth experience. Bringing a child into the world should be a time of joy and safety, right? But for way too many people, it's a journey filled with risk and inequality. So we're going to break down the challenges, look at some powerful evidence-based solutions, and hear from the people on the front lines who are turning unimaginable grief into a real movement for change. To really get why this is so important, we need to first understand the sheer scale of the problem right here in the United States. And this isn't just about numbers. It's about a systemic failure that has absolutely devastating human consequences. This quote, wow, it just hits you. It comes from two fathers who faced the most unimaginable loss you can think of. Their partners, Shamoni Benton Gibson and Amber Rose Isaac, both died from childbirth complications that were preventable. So this statement, it's not just a quote, it's a mission. It puts a human face on a national crisis. Look at this single number. It represents a reality that is just stark and completely unacceptable. Researchers at the Urban Institute found that in the U.S., Black women are 3 times more likely to die from pregnancy-related causes than white women. Let that sink in. 3 times. It's a gap that doesn't just need our attention, it demands our action. Their experiences, which were featured in the powerful film Aftershock, just highlight the systemic failure. They weren't statistics. They were vibrant women whose deaths have now fueled a mission to make sure no other family has to go through the same preventable tragedy. Their partners are now at the very forefront of a movement demanding real change. Okay, so if the system we have now is failing so many people, what does a better way forward actually look like? Well, it turns out decades of research point to a solution that's simple, but also incredibly profound. The idea is continuous one-to-one support. And it's not some new radical idea. Really, it's a return to a fundamental human need. Think about it. Having a consistent, dedicated person by your side creates a sense of safety. That can lower stress, help a person cope with pain, and lead to way better communication with the medical team. This slide really lays out the difference. On the left, you've got usual care. You might see a whole rotation of staff you've never met before, and the focus is mostly on medical monitoring. But on the right, with continuous support, you have a consistent relationship with a person you know and trust, someone focused on your entire well-being. It's a huge shift from feeling like a patient who's just being managed to feeling like an active, supported member of your own birth team. And the benefits? They are so measurable and so significant. A huge Cochrane review, which covered over 15,000 women, found some staggering results. I mean, look at these numbers. A 25% decrease in C-sections, shorter labor, and this is a big one, much higher satisfaction with the whole birth experience. This isn't just a nice idea. It's hard data that proves this model of care really, really works. And the evidence from research all over the world just keeps piling up, building this overwhelmingly positive case. It's not just better for the mother, it's better for the baby too, with a lower risk of a low APGAR score. And this part is key. Across all of these studies, there is zero evidence of harm. It's safer, it's more positive, and it's a more effective approach all around. So with this mountain of evidence, you've got these major global health organizations starting to completely rethink maternity care on a systemic level. This is about moving beyond just individual changes and actually redesigning the entire model of care. Organizations like the World Health Organization are now calling for a global expansion of what's called the midwifery model. You can see the difference in philosophy right here. The standard medical model often sees birth as a medical event to be managed, focused on risk. The midwifery model, on the other hand, sees birth as a normal process. It's focused on empowerment, partnership, and informed choice. And the outcomes really speak for themselves. Now, going hand in hand with these new care models is this really important idea: patient engagement. What that means is shifting the power dynamic. It's moving away from being a passive patient, where you're just told what's going to happen, to becoming an active, respected member of your own healthcare team. A birth plan is a fantastic tool for this. Now, it's not some rigid contract that you can't deviate from. Think of it more as a vital conversation starter. Just the process of making one helps you understand your options and communicate what you want. It's a tool to make sure your voice is heard and respected, which, as we saw with the stories of Shamoni and Amber, can be literally life-saving when concerns are tragically dismissed. So let's circle back to the fathers who started our explainer, Omari Maynard and Bruce McIntyre III. They are the living, breathing embodiment of how personal tragedy can be channeled into this powerful force for systemic change.
Through their own foundations, the Araya Foundation and the Save a Rose Foundation, they are out there fighting for the exact solutions we've been talking about. They're raising awareness, they're building community-led programs, and, this is so crucial, they are calling on more men to become active partners and advocates in solving this crisis.
Okay, so what does all of this mean for you and your family? How can you take all this information and apply it to your own journey?
For any families out there navigating a pregnancy, there are clear, actionable things you can do. Start the conversation with your provider about doula or midwifery care. Create that birth plan. Educate yourselves and your support system. Your partner is not just a bystander. They're your frontline advocate, and their voice can be absolutely critical in ensuring your safety and well-being. And for the healthcare system itself, the path forward is pretty clear. It requires a fundamental shift. Continuity of care shouldn't be a luxury, it should be the standard. Midwives and doulas aren't just alternatives, they're essential parts of the team. And really, underlying all of it is the urgent need to confront and dismantle the systemic biases that lead to these tragic, unfair outcomes.
The research is clear, the personal stories are incredibly powerful, and the solutions are right there within our grasp. It all leads us to this final critical question. The evidence shows us what works. The families who have suffered this unimaginable loss are showing us the urgency. So now it's about the collective will to build a system where a safe and respectful birth isn't a matter of luck or privilege, but a fundamental human right for every single family.